All right, welcome back to another episode of No Excuse Just Results podcast. I'm your boy Lamar.
I'm Steve.
All right, and we got our family with us. Charles joining us today. We appreciate you, my brother, for joining us. Um,
I got it
Steve,
from here. I got it
take
from here.
over, bro.
Hey, the first podcast we
Yeah.
talked about LeBron's greatness,
hmm
and that prompted my brother here
Okay.
to shoot me some text messages that said, "Pump y'all's brakes," because there is somebody being left out of the discussion, and I feel like y'all did not hit some points that I feel like I can come in and shed some light on. So
Okay.
I wanted to set this time up where we have Lamar, LBJ's greatest fan.
Nah,
Now,
ain't no fan.
wait.
Hold up. If
Okay,
you gonna
your
state
family.
it, state it correct, player. If
That's
you gonna state it,
you're
state it
part of the
correct.
James clan.
If you
So we
gonna
got
state it,
Lamar, who's part of the James clan,
yes.
and then we got Charles here, who claims to be a basketball purist who believes MJ is the GOAT. So we set this up, and I think it's time for us. Let's get it.
All
Let's
right.
get it.
My
Let's get
question
it.
to you, Charles. Does LeBron's ability to stay dominant for 2 decades outweigh Jordan's shorter but explosive peak? Does it outweigh it?
I wouldn't be if I was going to go with my argument for LeBron. That wouldn't be my argument. No,
Mm-mm.
no, that wouldn't be it. That I have what I would say would be my argument for LeBron. If you want me to
Okay.
give my case,
Ooh, what you got?
What you
but
got?
that wouldn't be the reason why I would say LeBron is better. Because the reason why I would say that because the two M's that are way different from this era and that era.
Okay.
Money. The money that players are being made now,
Okay.
and medicine.
Mm.
Those are going to be two factors that the medicine now, what we have available is way better than what was decades ago. Because one of my favorite player, which I would bring up, he said it ended his career, which was my favorite player, was Isaiah Thomas. But the injury, he blew his Achilles, but the one that he said that really ended his career, which is something you never talk about, he broke his wrist. He said he couldn't shoot anymore. You never hear any players talk about we having something in their upper body that pretty much ends their career. So if for an argument saying that LeBron is better than Jordan, that would not be my argument. Which I have a couple where if I were to say that, because I'm also, like I told my brother Steve, I say this is for now because I don't think the full story is written on LeBron.
No.
So I said my current GOAT is still Jordan. I'm not saying that it's over by any stretch whatsoever.
Okay. So why do you say Jordan is the current GOAT?
A couple things. And then I want to say it as a totality of it. I think there are a couple, when we're talking about the rareness of greatness we are, and overall, you got to put in somewhat of there. And I know it's a team sport, but we're talking breaking down individuals. I would say the couple of knocks that I had on LeBron for that. And like I said, it's not just that, but I would say the Heat versus Maverick series where they were favored.
I knew you was gonna do that bull crap.
Wait, what?
Flag on the play.
Nah, but you gotta let me get my other one. That was one of them when they were the favorites. They were the favorites, and I feel like they had the best two players in that series.
Okay.
And then after they won the back-to-back, after they won the 7-game series with them when they beat the Spurs, that next year against the Spurs in the rematch, they got dog walked 4-1. Dog walked. And the leading scorer for the Spurs was a young Kawhi that averaged less than 18 points a game during that series. And those 4 losses that they took for the Heat, they were not competitive in that series. And I'm just saying, in those 2 scenarios, my GOAT for right now, I don't feel like those series play out that way.
Now, before you touch base on that, Lamar, I got a question for you. Do you not factor in some of the series where Jordan flopped?
He didn't flop in the finals.
That's what I'm saying. So,
and then when they did, and when he was getting beat by the Celtics, he was putting up crazy playoff numbers.
No, I'm saying, so you fought LeBron because it was the finals,
and he was favorites.
No, I'm just asking. So,
and he was favorites.
So I'm saying the finals outweighs earlier rounds.
No, I'm saying how they looked in those finals outweighs it. Not that the wins and losses.
Okay.
They were supposed to win that series against the Mavericks.
So because they were favorites and lost,
they were supposed to. And then how they looked when I feel like the Heat and the Spurs were really even.
Okay.
And when I say, I'm telling you, for the stuff that I would say for LeBron, that's one of the things I would say.
Yeah.
As far as one of the things that if I was going to argue it, LeBron being the GOAT, I feel like those 2 championship runs. Well, no, not that one. The one where they beat the Heat.
Okay.
And the 3-1 when they came back against Golden State, I feel like those outweigh any of the ones that Jordan won. Period.
Okay.
I just want to know if my mic is on. Can y'all hear me? It's on.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
All right. I just wanted to make sure because I know you brought up that incident with the Mavericks when I guess you said the Heat didn't qualify. Well, they just didn't, put enough efforts into winning that series or whatever. Now, can we say that about Jordan when he won his first scoring title, when he was averaging 37.1 points per game in 86 and 87, and they got beat by Boston Celtics, swept by Boston Celtics. Can we compare that then? Because if we comparing that, we got to compare that then.
No, I wouldn't because so the difference.
See, here we go. Selective politics.
But you gotta say the difference. You covering it up, but Dwayne Wade and LeBron James were the 2 best players in that series.
Okay.
When you're talking about that Bulls team against that Celtics, you can't say that they had the top 3 out of the 4 players were on the Celtics and not the Bulls. There's a difference.
So then let me ask you a question.
Yep.
People always talk about LeBron's final losses, right?
No, I don't.
Wait, I'm saying you.
People
talk about final losses, right?
Not me. Yeah.
If we're not holding Jordan accountable for that Boston loss, why do we fault LeBron for his final losses when he took some subpar teams?
I don't.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying
I don't. Because, like I just told you, I think that the Cleveland, when they came back against the Warriors, and that Heat team that beat the Spurs, I think those title runs are better than any of the 6 that Jordan won.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just
saying
that
would be my argument for LeBron being my current GOAT.
I know, but you said one thing. You was like, he didn't lose in a finals, right?
And in that way.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, we say, and not just you. A lot of people's like, well, my LeBron, he's got there 10 times. He only won 4. Jordan got there 6,
and that's
and won all 6.
But
I think what I'm trying to say is, if we look at some of those teams LeBron took to the finals, there's no way they should have made it. Like, if we look at that first year when they got dog walked by the Spurs,
I don't ever count that against
his
LeBron.
roster.
Was I don't even
and
count.
No offense to him because they in the NBA, but his roster
was not on the same par
nowhere near
with the Spurs,
and they definitely performed. Like, he carried them to the finals himself. So I think that's kind of what I want. And Lamar kind of touched on it, right? Is we say, he got swept by Boston.
I mean, not only did he got swept by Boston, he got swept by Boston before that, the year before that, 85 and 86.
We say he got swept by Boston, but Boston had 3 of the 4 top players. But then we say LeBron lost.
That is not
LeBron
me.
lost to Golden State, who had 4 Hall of Fame players.
Definitely, I don't hold that against him.
And he had multiple finals where he was missing Kyrie,
Yeah.
Kevin Love, who was a
Yep.
part of his big three.
Yep.
And
The only two that I say I hold against him was the Mavericks.
Okay.
And I feel like, and then I also say if he would have won one of those two, I think the discussion is over because I think LeBron is it. If he wins one, either the Mavericks one or the second one against the Heat, not only does that, if he wins one of those two, he also has a three-peat in Miami, along with that one in Cleveland when they came back 3-1. The discussion is done if he wins one of those two.
Okay.
I'm done because only reason why the Mavericks won because I think that they were favored and they should have won that series. That's the one I do hold. And then the other one against the Spurs, I feel like the teams were even. They won the year before. And then when I say they lost, it wasn't they lost. They got dog walked 4-1 against the Spurs. Now, granted, that Spurs team was really good. They had 4 Hall of Famers, one of the best coaches in ever. But we also just beat them the year. When I say we, the Heat beat them the year before in the series, which I felt was one of the greatest series ever.
Now, if I'm gonna be honest though, and Lamar, you can combat this, but one of the knocks that people say is that championship would not have been possible if Ray Allen wouldn't have hit that corner shot.
I don't care. He hit it though.
Right.
But they did not see the 15, 17 points LeBron scored before that, though.
No, I'm just saying.
A lot of people forget that.
That's what,
I'm not. I'm giving them credit because they beat. I'm giving them credit because they won that one, and they beat.
Because a lot of people, I would see a lot of people get on talk shows, podcasts. They would talk about Ray Allen saved LeBron's career, but they not knowing. I believe I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please drop it in the comment. But I believe LeBron went on a 22 points stretch of scoring by himself that led to them winning that shot by Ray Allen to the side. Well, Chris Bosh got the rebound and things like that. But people forget about that. People forget about that whole LeBron went on a 22-point run by himself.
Okay.
To carry his team. People do not realize how hard that shit is. That is not easy. Like this is not with you, Charles. This is just in general that I have with people. People don't understand that. What I don't get is they always say LeBron's not a scorer. I don't understand how he's not a scorer. The man got over combined playoffs and regular season points over 50K. How he's not a scorer, I don't understand how. I understand he's a pass first, which is he's leading. I don't want to do the comparison, but as far as assists, rebounds, and things like that, he's leading. Yeah, he's beating Jordan in those categories. But overall, he is a player that pretty much have them that took every coach to the playoff that he's played with. Let's just be real. And that's something I don't see that Jordan has never done. When he was done with Phil Jackson, that was it. So
he retired.
And my thing is that tells a lot. If you played the game of basketball, that tells a lot. If you're not okay, I understand you got coaching staffs in place, but no matter who the coach is, what type of individual player you are. At the end of the day, can you get that team that you have out there to the playoffs? LeBron has showed proof of that. No matter what coach it is, we already know LeBron's pretty much the coach and that's in charge of everything. But it shows what type of player he is, dog. Like that's what I don't get about certain people. It's like LeBron has damn near taken every coach damn near close to the playoffs or to the finals and won with them. I think out of LeBron's career, he has taken 5 coaches to the finals, I believe. And when you compare it against Phil Jackson, when you compare it against Michael Jordan, it's just Phil Jackson. That's it. Without Phil Jackson, ain't nothing.
Wait, you did say when we talked about the 96 Bulls, how that was a legendary staff.
Right, it was.
And if you think about some of the coach, he makes a good point.
He does.
And you might got to combat it, but you got David Blatt, Ty Lue, Spoelstra,
La Nostra.
Those were all new cats.
But
The only one I forgot who was his first head coach in
Cleveland.
LA. In LA, I forgot he was the one. He's been
you're talking
Indiana
about
Vogel.
Yeah,
Vogel.
Yep.
Vogel was kind of established because he had that good
Yeah.
run with the Pacers.
With
But
Pacers.
other than that, he has taken pretty much rookie
Coaches.
So
And that shows a lot on
and
the
you talked
player,
about
man.
you told us
I
straight
did.
up. You said
I
how
think
coaching
that
matters.
It does.
So
But I
how you
also
going?
okay. So a couple of things.
Okay.
So one, the salaries in the NBA make a huge difference because players have way more involvement to what they did back then. Because you can't say that because you can't say, well, you're saying that, well, LeBron's kind of like the coach. Well, because he's making way more money. The money is different. And that makes it different. The other thing is, I will say, it is because
I don't want you to disrespect LeBron's IQ though.
no, I'm not disrespecting that. No, I'm just saying that the money,
his IQ allows him to be the coach. Kind
right?
of like how
Well, he's got a lot more power too.
kind of like how
He's got the players have way more
Chris
power
Paul-
than what they did.
Chris Paul has a high IQ mind.
Okay, but the other thing is, I will say that Jordan did that. Phil Jackson was the first coach that he went to the playoffs with. Doug Collins did coach him, and they made the playoffs. So when they went there, but I mean, I give him credit for that. And then Phil Jackson also never was a head coach either before. So he was a rookie head coach when he went with the Bulls. So they kind of did that together. So he didn't have any previous head coaching experience. Phil Jackson, he was an assistant before he got that head coaching job with the Bulls.
So
But
he
then
kinda did like a Steve Kerr path.
kind of, but I mean, but Phil Jackson played with a Hall of Fame coach when he played with the Knicks with Red Auerbach.
Okay.
So he was probably ahead of his time, a lot of his forward thinking. I give Phil Jackson a lot of credit. I hate saying that once again with the Bulls, but I hate saying that stuff, giving them Bulls credit. I will say that Phil Jackson was a rookie head coach when they got, I think the Pistons beat them before on, I think it was either their first or their second title that the Pistons won. But I mean, I give that, it is a great point. I feel like he has led a lot of variety of different teams, some better, some worse, and then taking them to a higher point. But I mean, as far as saying that with Jordan, but he also retired after 98 because of their owner was kind of like, I didn't want to pay the money for what it was to keep the band together. So he broke it down.
Oh, no, Phil Jackson wasn't no rookie coach. He won 2 before that with the New York Knicks.
He was an assistant though, what he was saying.
No, he was a player. He was a player for the New York Knicks back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Winning 2, but
played with Knicks. But no, I don't think he had coached before the Bulls as far as a head coaching job.
Okay. All right.
But I think that's about 100% valid point. LeBron has taken a variety of players, coaches, teams, the East and the West, and done it both. And I will say one thing and another thing I would give him credit for as far as on that now, especially doing it in the West, it was also like that. The West was really, as always, the Western Conference has been a deeper conference for a long
West
time.
was dominant.
With quality teams. Even when Jordan was playing, there was a ton of quality teams. I think that he, and I don't know what it was, but I mean, I think the Western Conference has been like depth-wise tougher teams overall versus what he went up against in the East.
Do you count the bubble ring?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%. I'm not this. And to be honest with you, that may be one of the stories I'm actually hearing from when they were in bubble. It might be we might not have gave it enough credit of what we did.
Yeah.
As far as the uncertainty of the world and playing on the mental part of it and being away from family, the uncertainty of, there was a lot of uncertain time.
I don't think I give Bron credit for the bubble anyway. That's just my honest opinion because they always say that's the bubble.
It made me to give more. I'll be honest with you.
I would hear players talk about that was not even real. You're not really playing in front of the stands, but at the end of the day, you playing against the same people. Correct. At the end of the day, they lacing their shoes up to go out there. So I don't want to hear that.
You just because
fans is not
fortitude to be able to do that.
Yeah, just because my thing is, my coach always say, Lonnie Thompson, you either a player or you're not. Ain't no in between. No matter if it's fans out there, if it's 50,000 fans out there, or if it's one fan, at the end of the day, you either a player or you're not. So a damn bubble should not change anything how the outcome should be. At the end of the day, them players laced up their shoes and they went out there and played. Despite if there was fans cheering them on, LeBron then wanted more. At the end of the day, they got it and they won him a championship. So it ain't no in between. I can't accept that, man. I don't like it. And I'm not saying it's you, but I'm just saying I will hear certain, sports analysts talk about that, and I'm just like, that's not right, dog. And at the end of the day, it's no in between with that. It's nothing.
He probably was damned if he do, damned if you don't, right?
Yeah.
He won it, so then it's not a true ring.
Yeah, I don't get that. That's a ring.
Lost it. They would have drugged him. Like, this was your championship to win.
Yeah.
How could you not win in this situation? Your team had the best, yada yada. Okay.
I think it's tough. I think it's also a tough being in playing in certain organizations where he's at with the Lakers. I think it's tougher for some players.
Yeah.
It's being on certain be expectations.
It's a lot of spotlight. It's the spotlight is on you when you play for Los Angeles Lakers.
LA.
And you have more game coverage. And you have more game coverage.
Mm-hmm.
So your games are televised a lot than more other NBA teams.
Right.
It's I mean, if LeBron went to Charlotte, they're gonna televise 1,000 Charlotte games.
What happened when LeBron went back to Cleveland? He created more jobs. He brought the economy up. So it just lets you know the volume of the player that's coming to the city, what he can do, where he can change the structure. Of course, they got more TV time because LeBron's there. So we seen LeBron a little bit more on TV. Normally, we wouldn't watch the Cleveland Cavaliers on TV. Let's just be real. We wouldn't.
I mean, even this year, they the top team in the league, and
nobody's talking about them.
Yeah.
No.
Let me ask you a question. So for Charles, from the Michael Jordan stands point. Why do most Michael Jordan GOAT commentators act like his early career did not exist?
I don't know, because he got beat down by the Pistons a couple of years. I will give us credit. As a Pistons fan, we held him down.
Okay.
He got bounced out his first year.
Why do we act like
he got bounced out? He got bounced out.
Well, he had multiple years of. So I think maybe why he gets defended because he was losing. I think I don't know. I mean, because I'm not anybody. I just watched it, and I don't know if maybe they get a pass is because he was losing to all-time great teams, or as far as they think.
So are we not looking at the Warriors as an all-time great team?
I'm
just asking in general because 73-9 is
those are I never hold that against LeBron.
No, I get it. I'm just saying if we're gonna say, well, Jordan lost to the Pistons, Jordan lost to Celtics. Mm-hmm. We also have to look at some of the teams LeBron lost to. That Spurs team was a dynasty. Tony,
that one,
Manu, Tim Duncan,
and Kawhi.
Young Kawhi. It was a young Kawhi, but still, those three by themselves.
But I'm coached by Popovich.
But I'm also
a dynasty.
But then what I said was they won the year before.
Yeah.
Then they got dog walked.
Right.
The year after.
No, I mean I get that. I'm just saying, why do we? If we're looking at his level of opponents, why do we give LeBron's a pass? Because that Spurs team was a dynasty. Let's be honest. That Golden State team, Curry is going to be Hall of Famer. Draymond was definitely a valuable role player.
Well, see,
a young Clay before he got hurt was lethal from three.
But like I said,
they added Kevin Durant, who's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. He's even considered in like some of the GOAT talks. Like he played some teams too. The only ones I say he could probably get a slide for. I don't think that OKC team was ready. Like, it was a young Russ, a young Harden, a young KD.
Anybody who's talking about any of them that he lost is besides the Mavericks and the Spurs. I discount and I don't even listen to it when they talk about LeBron losing.
Okay,
so that was the only two that I ever. Well, maybe the one didn't he? Maybe possibly. Nah, there was only two because I was gonna say the one he lost in the Celtics.
But I mean, they had a big three.
Yeah, so I mean, literally the only two that I would say
they still were kind of in their prime.
But so if I'm gonna, so that's what I'm saying. The only two that I hold against LeBron are the Mavericks and the Spurs, and then the Spurs one is how they lost. They got to be
Not
4-1
because they lost.
Not because if they
Okay.
lose that game, if they lose in 6, they lose
cool.
in 7. I'm cool.
Okay.
So it's the Mavericks, and then that Spurs one because they got to be 4-1. And so when Jordan got beat, he got really the only two teams that was really beating him were the Celtics and the Pistons.
Because he never lost in the finals.
Nobody. And then with the Celtics, they had a Hall of Fame coach, Bird, McHale, Parrish, Hall of Famer. And then Detroit, they just, and I'll be honest with you, I could say it now, but then at the time, the second time we beat them, on our second year, we beat them going into the championship, Pippen was hurt in game 7.
Okay.
I mean, that was the migraine game, and they went into Detroit. We won that game in 7.
Okay.
But, I mean, and really the only teams that really beat them were in our series, I believe, were the Celtics and the Pistons. Those were the only two teams that beat them.
Why do we also not hold him accountable for the baseball seasons?
Well, I got that's a whole nother conspiracy theory. I think.
I know what you're talking about, the suspension thing, but like,
I
don't want to get into the conspiracy.
That's what I want to get into for Jordan, because there's a whole lot of stories where there wasn't a lot of media coverage back then that I think that's really is not get covered.
But like, if you know, Lamar brought up a valuable point, right? LeBron's longevity. He's played, 20 plus straight seasons. Why do we not look at that knock of Jordan, of him leaving for 2 years? We always kind of give it the success story of, well, he came back and he went right back to championships.
So I don't think I can't touch on it. You said don't touch on my conspiracy theory on why I think he left. There's a couple of them, but I mean,
we really don't address it though.
Yeah,
it really don't get addressed.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he was going to be allowed to play.
Yeah,
that's one of my conspiracy theories. I don't know if he was going to be allowed to play.
Okay.
That's another day, another subject.
All right.
Gotcha. Well, I see you saying. Well, I appreciate you, Charles. I appreciate. Yeah, I definitely appreciate y'all, man. I think this was another good one. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Once again, I appreciate everybody tuning in and joining No Excuse Just Result podcast. I'm your boy Lamar.
I'm Steve.
I appreciate you, Charles, once again for joining us today. Peace.